We've got Chrome apps, we've got Chrome extensions, we've got add-ons, we've got Android apps through Google Play. This video is going to explain exactly what each of these things are, why you should care about them, and what to do with them. I'm on a Chromebook right now, and one of the great things about Chromebooks is that you have access to a wide variety of content from various platforms. I'll walk you through some of the basics and get you started installing apps on your device as well. So the first thing on a Chromebook that you may be familiar with are Chrome extensions. Now, Chrome extensions appear in the top right corner of the Chrome browser, and they're just little utilities. So right up here, you can see I have a variety of extensions. They kind of look like bookmarks. Extensions do one specific thing. Depends on the extension, which decides what they do. But for example, this extension right here, this is a color picker extension. So if I want to know exactly, what color blue this is over here on the right, I'd click the extension and I would be able to figure that out. This one shortens links. This one lets me do some fancy things with Google Doc links. This is Screencastify, which I'm using right now to record this video. This is an emoji extension. There are an infinite number of extensions that you can use to customize your browsing experience. Now, all of these extensions are installed through the Chrome Web Store, which is where I'm at right now. Extensions are available for Mac, PC, Chromebook, pretty much any laptop. You won't be able to run extensions on a mobile device. But on any laptop running the Chrome browser, that'll be fine. So that's the first category, Chrome extensions. The next thing I want to look at are Chrome apps. Now, this is a little bit more Chromebook specific. I'm going to click on the launcher icon in the bottom left corner. This is going to bring up the app launcher, which will display, if I pull up again, all of my Chrome apps. Now, there's a couple different kinds of Chrome apps. Many of them, the majority, are really just fancy bookmarks to websites. So, for example, like the Google Classroom app, okay? So I can install that, but clicking on it just takes me to the Classroom webpage. Nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't really get you a whole lot. In a classroom setting, it is nice to have the Chrome apps on a Chromebook so that students can browse visually, especially at the younger grades. They can just click on the icon rather than having to type in classroom.google.com. You could bookmark that site as well, but again, you have a limited amount of space for your bookmarks up here at the top. So having them as an app just gives you an extra way of accessing those tools. So a lot of the Chrome apps are just fancy bookmarks, but that's not always the case. So I've got a couple Chrome apps that are more traditional apps like you would expect to find. So here's a neat one called Earth Viewer. This app is kind of a natural history app. We can look at the Earth over a series of years, but you can see, it loads in its own window. It's kind of like an app. It has, interesting navigation options here. This one works offline. It's more of your traditional app program that you would expect to find. Here's another example. This one's called Audio Recorder, which is a real simple app for recording something. Literally one button, but again, this one works offline. It functions more like a traditional piece of software that you may have in your Mac or PC. So extensions are simple tools or utilities that do one very specific, pretty limited thing. Apps can be much more involved, letting you edit video, record audio, a bunch of different things. On a Chromebook, you can't install traditional software, so you're limited to web-based tools through either Chrome extensions or apps for the most part. So the web store is a great place to go to discover that content. Another thing that you may have heard about are add-ons. And add-ons are not really specific to any device. Add-ons are like apps for Google Drive. So inside of a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, a Google presentation, a Google form, up at the top of your screen, you'll have this add-on menu. And if you go to Get Add-ons, it will take you to something that looks very similar to the Chrome Web Store, but these are specific apps for this Google Doc. So these apps are very focused on either docs or slides or sheets, helping enhance those tools. They only work inside of those programs. So each of these different areas, apps, extensions, add-ons, have a very different focus. You probably will use all of them to accomplish your goals, to get your work done. Now, there is a new element for Chromebooks specifically. It's not a huge deal right now, but it certainly will be moving forward. Certain Chromebooks, not all, have the ability to run Android apps on them. So if you have such a Chromebook, you will see in your device the Google Play Store, which if you're an Android user, you'll be familiar with, and you'll have access to tens of thousands of apps that are traditionally only available for Android devices. Now, this is pretty new. It's experimental. It's not 100% finalized. You may not be able to do this on your school account. If you have a personal Gmail account, you should be able to do so. But this gives you access to some things that previously on a Chromebook we did not have access to. So things like the Adobe Creative Suite products. Not every Android app works on a Chromebook. I have not tested this one. We'll just give it a shot. So hit install. And again, this is going to be more of your traditional Android or iPhone app experience. These apps are going to have good offline support. They're going to work very well with touchscreen. And so they're a good option to consider. Now, one of the challenges with an Android app on a Chromebook is that you're using a much different screen size than you traditionally would on a phone, and so not all of the apps have been optimized for the larger screen. This one looks like it may be, which is great. So this is an additional category of apps that you can have access to. This one may not be available for you right now, but certainly will be in the future. So to recap, we've got 4 different things that we can work with and look at. We have Chrome extensions, which you will use on pretty much any platform running the Chrome browser, Mac, PC, or Chromebook. We have Chrome apps, which are marvelous if you're using a Chromebook to help you access content. Those can be either bookmarks or more traditional applications. And then you may have access to Android apps through the Google Play Store. That's a quick overview. Spend some time exploring the web store and adding content to your device.